Well, her bikini probably left no room for imagination, nor an ID, but I did collect her fingerprints and DNA for you. Take a look at the third-degree burns on your victim's hands and face. You can probably tell that they were above the surface of the mud during the initial explosion and subsequent fire. In addition to the burns to her skin, she suffered thermal injury to her upper airway. She inhaled a substantial amount of smoke and hot gases from the fire. Carboxyhemoglobin levels in her blood exceeded 73%. Cause of death was suffocation due to carbon monoxide poisoning. In a fire that intense, carbon monoxide levels would spike rapidly. She probably fell unconscious pretty quick. Most likely, she slipped under the mud after losing consciousness. Time of death is going to be difficult to determine. Even without the fire, the initial temperature of the mud bath complicates my ability to offer an accurate estimate. I was able to extract samples of the vitreous humor from both eyes. Potassium accumulation in the tissue indicates time of death between 3 and 4 a.m.
That's consistent with when the fire started.
Not exactly, but take a look at this bruising on her arm. Does that look like a handprint to you?
Yeah. Looks like someone grabbed her pretty hard.
From the coloration of the bruising, I'd say it occurred at least 6 to 12 hours prior to death. I certainly find no indication she was lying in that mud over a prolonged period of time.
We need to get a photo of those bruises. My camera's memory card is full. You mind documenting this one?
I'll wait.
Nice composition.
Maybe. Your victim had advanced mesothelioma. It's a type of cancer that attacks the lining of the vital organs. It's thought to be caused most often by exposure to asbestos. It looks as though it was an ongoing problem for her. I discovered indications of a pleurectomy, the removal of the outermost lining of the lungs. From the scar tissue, that surgery probably took place a few years ago. She may have thought she was out of the woods. Unfortunately, I found an active malignancy in her pericardium, the lining of her heart. She didn't have long to live.
You know, we found some asbestos at the crime scene. The whole ceiling was coated with it. There was even a corner of the break room where it had come down. You don't suppose our victim set the fire, do you? Revenge and suicide all in one? We'll have to ask Brass if she filed any kind of complaint.
Well, the pleurectomy obviously suggests at one point she knew she had cancer. But there's no way to know whether she was aware it had recently metastasized to her heart. I ran an expanded tox screen. She hadn't been taking any cancer medications, and I didn't find any tissue damage from possible radiation treatments. I did, however, find evidence of a persistent, dare I say, habitual use of cannabis. You know, a Harvard Medical School study concluded that one of the active chemicals in marijuana, THC, may in fact inhibit the growth of certain tumor classifications, even though it says right there in the press release that the growth of some other tumors might actually be accelerated by THC. A man hears what he wants to hear and disregards the rest, right? So now the idea that weed cures cancer is spreading far and wide. Anytime.
Our victim is not an aphis. She's not in CODIS. Our Jane Doe doesn't seem to be in the system. Maybe Pete Baja knows her.
You have enough evidence?
Not really.
Then the best thing you can do is to get him to volunteer to come in.
Oh, hey, you two. I just got back. What do you need?
We found an unidentified female victim in one of the mud baths at the spa.
God, Portia, no! Portia Wiseman, she's the manager at the spa. She's the only other one with a key. Just the thought that she might have been in there when it went up. I'm sorry, it's just horrible.
We can't be sure who she is until we get a positive identification.
Of course. Let me lock up here. Oh, Portia. No. What were you doing in there?
Actually, we were hoping you could help us shed some light on that. Would you mind answering a few more questions?
Sure.
Had she mentioned any kind of health problems or filed any sort of complaint against your company?
No, nothing like that. Why?
She had mesothelioma, a type of cancer caused by asbestos.
Oh, that's horrible, but what does it have to do with my company? I don't know anything about any asbestos.
The ceiling of the spa is coated with asbestos-laced paint.
Really? I guess I'll have to take your word for it. You really think Portia got cancer from working at the spa? Oh, she never said anything to me about it.
Think back. Did she ever seem unusually angry or depressed?
Well, we weren't exactly close, but I got the feeling she was in a troubled relationship. Little things here and there, really.
Such as?
One Friday, I asked her if she had any fun plans for the weekend. Not really, she said. Just hanging out with the boyfriend. She said it like it was a root canal or something. It wasn't just that. I think he hit her.
Why do you think that he hit her?
Well, Portia always seemed to like showing off her body. I even had to ask her once to wear more than just her bikini to work. But one week, a while back, I can't remember exactly when, she wore long-sleeve shirts every day, and she seemed depressed. When I asked her about it, she gave me some lame excuse about needing to do laundry. But when she thought I wasn't looking, I saw her rub her arm and wince. Well, Portia was a very private person. I know almost nothing about her boyfriend, except what I was able to infer.
Was the spa making money?
Sure. I mean, it can always get better, right? But it was profitable.
Is there anyone you can think of who might have had a reason to start the fire at the spa?
No. I mean, who blows up a spa?
She's not in the phone book. I looked.
Oh yes, I know where she lived. Let me write it down for you. I never got the chance to visit her. Here you go. So, I hate to ask, but is that everything you need from me right now? I have to come up with something to tell the board about why I let the insurance run out. And I can't really focus on that while I'm here.
I think we have what we need for now. You'll be at the barber shop if we need you?
I may have some errands to run, but I will be there for some time today, for sure.
Las Vegas Crime Lab, drop the weapon now!
Driver's license says Brian Reed. You mind telling us why you were in Portia Weissman's apartment, Mr. Reed?
It's my girlfriend's apartment. Well, ex-girlfriend as of yesterday.
Do you break into all your ex-girlfriend's apartments?
What? No, I didn't break in. I have a key.
Come on, the door was bashed open and you were standing there with a sledgehammer.
The door was busted in when I got there, so I grabbed the tool just in case the guy who broke in was still hanging around. Hey, just call Portia. She's angry with me, but she'll back me up. A fire? Oh, God. Is she okay?
Unfortunately, Miss Weissman never made it out of the mud bath.
You mean it can't be!
Mr. Reed, we're sorry for your loss.
A fire.
So were you tying up loose ends after you torched the spa?
What? That's crazy! The only loose ends I was tying up were my toothbrush and an extra pair of underwear. And now you tell me she's gone and you're acting like I had something to do with it?
Mr. Reed, Brian, we have no evidence implicating you right now. And we know it must be a shock to hear about Portia. We need your help to figure out what happened to her. I hope you can understand why we want to know the reason you were standing there with that thing.
Sure, yeah, I can see how it looks. But really, it's just like I told you. I stopped by to pick up my stuff, yeah, including the hammer, and the door was broken open. I grabbed the tool for protection on the way inside. It was just inside the door. I wasn't there for more than a minute before you two showed up.
You mentioned that as of yesterday, you and Portia were no longer together. Was this a mutual decision? Or did Portia break up with you?
No, I broke it off with her. Her drug problem was getting in the way. Weed. She knew I couldn't. She knew I had a problem with it, but she kept putting it in my face. But maybe she'd still be alive. Oh, God.
Did you hit her?
Hit her? No, absolutely not. I would never hurt her.
Come on, Brian, I get it. She got a little out of line, right? So you had to shake a little sense into her.
It wasn't like that. She just, liked it a little rough sometimes. Look, it's not really my kind of thing, but she made it worth my while.
Cancer patients are sometimes prescribed medicinal marijuana to help them cope with the side effects of treatment.
Cancer? Well, that may have started a habit, but her cancer's been in remission for years.
The autopsy found mesothelioma in the lining of her heart. She didn't have long.
But she never told... I didn't know. She never told me.
Can anyone verify your location between the hours of 3 and 4 a.m.?
I don't think so, no. I was at home hanging out with my buddy Jack for most of the night. But by then, Jack was gone, and I was pretty much passed out on my couch.
Can your buddy Jack confirm your story?
Well, I try not to ask the bottle too many questions. People look at me funny.
What do you do for a living, Brian?
Living? I'm kind of between jobs right now. I'm looking for something in construction, but I'm not having a lot of luck. I do have a couple of leads, though, so ask me in a week, maybe.
We might have some more questions for you soon. Would you mind waiting?
I might as well. You probably won't get much out of me once I have a chance to start drinking.
Jim, could you do a background check on Brian Reed?
I called it in on the way over. I'll let you know what turns up.
Let's head back to Portia Weissman's apartment. Maybe there's some evidence there that can link the break-in to the fire.